Yes, ma'am.
And you push start and that which listen to our 1 and 6 FM.
It is another Thursday afternoon here on both sides of the story. It's Thursday, the 3rd of October, 2024, and we greet you well wherever in the world you are listening to us right now. We remain eternally grateful for the gift of life and the privilege to serve you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story. We don't ever take your listenership for granted because we know you have choices. And that's why we never ever forget to remember to say thanks for choosing to listen to both sides of the story Monday to Friday, 2 to 5, right here on Power 106 FM. The mission continues to educate, empower, enlighten, entrepreneurship. Welcome. Thanks a lot for staying in touch with us here on both sides of the story, Power 106 FM. Well, we have a few messages popping up. This one from GX Prop says, Mr. Malcolm, why do politicians in Jamaica allow, or why are politicians in Jamaica allowed to do whatever they want? Really? And other citizens not allowed. Are you serious? I remember coming to Jamaica with the Minister of Tourism. I was behind him in immigration. He was on his phone talking, and I took out mine to make a call. I was told I couldn't use the phone inside there. I told the lady when you told him to put away his phone that I would put away mine. This one here, this one from Barry, he says, the beauty about, well, it's in two parts. So it starts with, where are all the progressive people of Jamaica, JLP and PNP? Run them all away and sold out Jamaica to Finsac and Busy for them taking care of themselves. Look at the massive salaries they gave themselves, and still, and that's from Barry. And he goes on to say the beauty about that is that all the new technological wisdom is going out of Jamaica over the last 24 years, facilitating all things new. Yet the worthless politicians are here behaving improperly. And that's from Barry. Let's go up the line now and see who else is messaging us. This one says, good good evening, Dervan. Good afternoon to you. Thank you for checking in. Franklin McDonald, welcome as usual. Current inquiries, that's his focus right now. And chances are he will share the information. This one from Richard, but I think that this was meant for Althea this morning, and we will forward the message, the email. Arlene Clark says, "Good morning, Dervan. I just heard on the 7 a.m. news that state state put air condition unit in classrooms. I wonder how they just realized how much our students suffer at school with all kinds of different ills. I suffered at school with heat, oversized classrooms, broken desks and chairs. We'll come back to this message after the break.
The Caribbean Maritime University, an ISO certified institution, offers Bachelor of Science Cruise Ship, Bachelor of Engineering degrees, logistics, marine tourism, port management, security administration and management, and more. For further information, call 876-924-8150, 876-924-8175, or email info@cmu.edu.jm. Parents, improve your child's performance with the Children's Zone, a treasure chest of learning and fun, all in one place. Captivating stories, mind-bending puzzles, amazing discoveries in every subject area, and developmental activities. Each issue of the Children's Zone is the door to endless learning and fun.
So the message goes on to say, I would love for you to visit some schools and see the poor conditions. Well, been there, done that. When we came upon certain scenarios, we were publicly mentioning it on air here on Power 106. But it's like a catch 22 though, from the standpoint that the a lot of these schools were built a long time ago, and they, for the most part, have stood the test of time. But over time, with a growing number of students and just the impact of time in and of itself, you find that changes are necessary. If it's uh, if it's an institution with a large land space, then it means that provides an opportunity to expand the campus for the benefit of all. And then now there's a situation where, we hear this thing all the while about, picnic them ramp rough. And we have seen where they have lost it at times and damage the furniture. Remember, one new academic year, there were reports in the media about insufficient furniture. And the question was asked, who destroyed the furniture? But the schools, the institutions have to continue providing the furniture. And unfortunately, too many of our students are showing little or no regard for the furniture provided. So it so they're caught between, okay, let us put in these windows. Let's change the windows. Let's put in the windows, change the style. And in the same day, maybe minutes later, a set of windows gets damaged. And the school is expected to replace the windows. So it's one of the reasons why some schools are built with decorative blocks, because that's one way of guarding against the destruction of school property. So that's something that has to be addressed, if not already. All right, we're going to leave that there for the time being. So this person was saying, I suffered at school with heat, oversized classrooms, broken desks and chairs. I would love for you to visit some schools and see the poor conditions that students and teachers have to be in daily. When I listen to some teachers cry, it is so sad. I told them to call Dervan. Let your voice be heard. But it's something we have talked about before. We have talked about it over the years. Who destroyed the furniture? Let's continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. And let's clear some more messages right now. Going down the line. Let's go down the line here. Kevin Galloway, good afternoon to you. We have seen your message. Thank you very much for sharing. Also, let's see, who is this? Bishop Douglas Gooden. Good afternoon to you as well. Let's see, this one is a fresh message. Hi, Dervan. Just linking you to let you be aware, and also the public, that the Mandela Highway during the morning hours is a catastrophe waiting to happen. And when it happens, it's gonna be devastating. This has to do with the motorists who are using the soft shoulders from White Marl straight to 6 Miles as a regular roadway. They show no respect for pedestrians and those who are doing the right thing. Something serious is going to happen out there one of these mornings, Dervan. I do see the police out there at intervals, but they are not evenly spread out along the straight. Hence, while some might be at point A, the ruthlessness continues at point B. Below is an example of what I am talking about. And the, the person has sent us a mini video. All right, we'll take a look when we're able to. Bertram Johnson, good afternoon to you as well. Thank you for your message. And let's go up the line as we continue with more on both sides of the story, Power 106 FM. We're taking your calls on 876 922 4112 to 5. That's 876 922 4112 to 5. The text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, 876 365 3346. 876 365 3346. So we look forward to your full participation. After all, it is your program, both sides of the story, here on Power 106 FM. So we're looking forward to those messages and looking to take your calls as the program progresses. Over to you, our faithful listeners, here on both sides of the story, Power 106 FM. Good afternoon to Inez Iona Campbell Murray. How are you? Good to have you on board. Mike Montgomery says, good afternoon, teacher, to you and your listeners. Teacher, I want to know which is the largest country in the world, and thank thanks. Keep educating the nation. Keep safe. Largest country in the world. Let's see. Depends on how you look at it. Demographically and geographically. So the easiest example of how you work that out would be the two parishes of St. Catherine and St. Anne. St. Catherine is the largest parish in Jamaica demographically in terms of people. Demo, that refers to people. But geographically, the largest parish geographically is St. Anne. So, so that's coming from memory. I'll double check it. But that's my reading and understanding for quite a number of years now. And so, Mr. Montgomery, feel free to confirm if that's good enough for you or you'd like more information. Audrey Smith says, afternoon, Dervan and listeners tuning in from Southampton. Welcome, Audrey Smith in Southampton. Good to have you on board. Valerie Weller Peck says, good afternoon to all. To you too, Valerie Weller Peck. Thank you for tuning in. It's a pleasure to have you join us on both sides of the story, Power 106 FM. Taking your calls on 876 922 4112 to 5. Let's see. So this person says, not for on air. Oh, this was from yesterday. We are hearing the callers. You said you're not hearing. Yeah, well, that's exactly what was happening. So keep those comments coming in. 876 922 4112 to 5. 876 922 4112 to 5. And the text line, same as the WhatsApp number. Again, 876 922 4112 to 5. Those are the call in numbers. So we look forward, as usual, to your full participation. After all, it is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Hello to Miss Hermin, otherwise known as Miss June, and we could go on. She says, "Good evening. I have not much I have not much to say, but I'm always listening." That's good to know, Miss Hermin. Lady June, thank you very much. Good to hear from you. How are things in Oslo, Norway? Neville, otherwise known as Salah, says, Dervan, the person asking which is the largest in the world. The largest country in the world is Russia. Salah. Okay. I think that would put Canada at second place. Canada would be the second largest. And let's see who else. Oh, let's go to the break and come back.
Serving Jamaica's energy needs.
Good afternoon to Iris Terry Salmon, another of our one of our faithful listeners. She says, "Good afternoon, Dervan Malcolm, and your devoted listeners." Good afternoon, Iris Terry Salmon. How are things with your project, your charitable organization, which continues to be a part of the charitable cause landscape in Jamaica? Thank you very much for checking in. Good to see you online, and all the very best as we continue with both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. The lines are open, so we're taking your calls on 876 922 4112 to 5. 876 922 4112 to 5. The text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, 876 365 3346. But there's also 876 279 8598. So we continue to look out for your messages and your calls here on both sides of the story, Power 106 FM. As we continue with more and keep it going here on both sides of the story, Power 106 FM. And since you're a caller or a listener who sent us a message was asking about the largest country in the world, he is correct. Russia. And Canada is second in line, and he's going to come on now and brag about living in the second largest country in the world. Uh, right, Steve McDonald? Oh, you're not
Gospel
bragging
here.
today. You're not bragging today.
No, not about living in the second largest city in the world. I would brag about being from Lennox, Nicholas, and Darlington, and also um, being a past student of one of the, or probably let's say the best school in Jamaica, the best high school in Jamaica, put it that way. I'm certainly having attended some of the best primary schools in Jamaica and the best infant schools. So that is what I will brag about, and the goodness and the how blessed the people of Westmoreland are.
Okay, sir.
On that note, let me just say good afternoon to the people of Westmoreland, and I figured in particular in the wonderful town of Darlington, and also to my and Sablamar peeps, and also to my Manny's family. Dervan, the as we talk about Westmoreland, they, that I'm pretty sure that you've heard already that some of the best Sensimina are cancer actually
This is a daytime program, young man. This is a daytime program. What are you
well,
doing?
it is a legal product. It's a legal product. But having said that, and I won't go too far though with it. But I just wondered if we have ever done any research. They have the Champagne region in France. And I just wondered if we have ever done any research on why the marijuana from different eras have different effects. And, even though we both, and Westmoreland people that is, to have the test, if they, and also from Orange Hill area due to climatic condition, I wonder if, we've ever done our universities have ever done any research into the matter. So, just to have that idea, so, the strength and goodness of, if I can put it that way. But, so it is something that I just thought about. But, since we are, one of the things in the news right now is the Isaac Buchanan being selected to represent the Eastern, is it Eastern Portland? Is it it's Eastern Portland, right?
Yes, because the other one is sorry, go ahead.
West Portland.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want it to be I want it to be a conversation today, not a monologue, but a dialogue. And I know you have it in you as your were you on School Challenge Facebook calendar?
No.
Okay. But you're part of the debating team, were you?
Yes.
Yeah, I know you did some form of public speaking at some point, and you're on the air now. So, what from your knowledge, to the best of your knowledge, what do you know what you would prevent someone from becoming an MP in Jamaica?
What would prevent
someone, made them ineligible?
Oh, well,
based on our laws.
Yeah, it would have to be something that that impacts our legal system.
Right. But let me. I know you're crunched for time, so in the interest of time, let me state based on what my research provide, and these are things that at Mannings we do in first form, and again, Mannings prepare us for the world. That is, but anyway, a person is disqualified when they're involved in compilation of the register of electors or has responsibility for conduct of elections is barred from being a candidate by virtue of his this one. Two, by virtue of his or her own act is under an acknowledgement of allegiance, obedience, or adherence to a foreign power of state. Again, this is excluded commonwealth. Acting as a judge or a member of the Jamaica Defense Force. The legal part now, on the sentence of death or is certified as insane is disqualified. So, based on the research that that has been done, it's and this is complement of your sister network actually, Teglina, an article that they have. So, based on that, clearly, what's his name? Mr. Buchanan is eligible to represent the people of East Portland. But you know also who's eligible, Dervan?
Who said?
Remember Rasheen Barrett?
Uh-huh.
But Rasheen Barrett would be eligible to become an MP, you know, based on our existing laws.
Oh.
And what's the other one in that was in charge of that's currently in jail in charge of the one out again? Is currently before the courts. He's also eligible.
Mm-hmm.
The fallacy of our laws, eh?
Yeah, well, what to do? I mean, if it's the law of the land, then you act accordingly.
Yeah,
But if the law,
if it's go ahead, sorry, I interrupt.
so if there if there is some compromise, that could also have implications.
But Dervan, so where I'm coming from, these laws are not foreign to us. Like we're not the law exists over me, so we there. So these are our laws. These are laws that we. What I mean by that, these are laws that we, the people, would have helped to create.
Mm-hmm.
These are laws that we, the people, should have a hand in creating. Right?
Absolutely.
So how can it be that we're going to sit here and say that somebody like Rasheen Barnett or have a system, let me put it that way. How can it be that we have a system that somebody like Rasheen Barnett can be an MP and also can become a prime minister of our country? And then
well, that's the benefit of a democracy.
That's the benefit of a democracy, but is that what we really want?
Well, if that's not what the people want, then the people must be very clear in demonstrating exactly what they want.
But do the people even know?
Well, maybe
Do
they
the
don't.
people even know that the head of the one out gang or the transman can, while he's running those organizations, can also be the prime minister of Jamaica? Because there's nothing preventing him or her. We don't want to think there, as we say, no is equal rights. So you know, we really need to stop sitting on the gully bank and not participating in our governance. To me, this is even more crucial than having King George or whatever his name is as the head of state. This to me is even more crucial because our current laws, as it is right now, allows the head of the one out gang the head of the Klansman gang, or any other criminal organization within the country to be our prime minister. But this can't make any sense. And at the same time, what is of major concern to the PSOJ at this point is that we forget about, let me change from forget, but we have a 4-week holiday, 4-day holiday with regards to the Independence Day and Emancipation Day, just because of where how it falls. But let me move on really quick. At the same time, I would also put it using the same yardstick that the PSOJ is using.
Hold a moment, please.
God loves you. God speaks to you in your thoughts, in your heart, and through living prophets. Listen carefully to prophets during the General Conference of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Come, hear the words God has for you.
Live on Power 106 FM on Saturday, October 5 and Sunday, October 6.
Today's world is filled with noise and confusion. Yet, though at all you hear God's voice, you felt it in your life, at times deeply. God loves you. God speaks to you in your thoughts, in your heart, and through living prophets. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints shares ways you can find hope and healing, no matter your circumstances. Join Power 106 FM this Saturday, October 5, from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. and 3 to 5 p.m. and Sunday, October 6 from 10:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. and 3 to 5 p.m. for coverage of the conference and to hear a special message for the world. This broadcast is brought to you by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. That's coverage of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints General Conference this Saturday, October 5, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. and 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. and Sunday, October 6, 10:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. and 3 to 5 p.m. right here on Power 106 FM.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on both sides of the story. Paro 106 FM. Steve McDonald, we're back with you.
Yes, Dervan, thanks very much. So I'll just move on real quick from the openness of our laws, which would allow someone who's convicted, someone like Rasheen Barnett, to be eligible to run as an MP or even become PM or even have the head of or most violent criminal organizations be a prime minister. The other thing, real quick, with regards to the PSOJ requests for that long weekend, because unfortunately, the Independence Day and Emancipation Day may fall on a day which is inconvenient to them, the leaders of the PSOJ. I would also recommend that they also do the same for Christmas, because that Christmas, Boxing Day, and New Year's Day, we can incorporate a 3-day, a much longer holiday with that regards. And if they're going to use that yardstick or that rule with regards to Emancipation Day and Independence Day, it will only make sense that they also apply to Christmas, Boxing Day, and New Year's Day. So we could probably go on holiday from the Thursday, have the Thursday, Friday as holiday, and then Saturday, Sunday, and then the Monday, just to take care of those 3 days. So I'll make that recommendation free of cost
I believe
that he's
someone,
there.
the more I listen to you, the more I remember someone making this move to try and achieve what you are just talking about.
That was sarcasm, by the way.
Mhm.
There was.
Mhm.
Um, but in the next breath, just wanted to touch on real quick the proposal by yesterday on your sister network. All and it was Dion Jackson Miller had on Minister of. She was dealing with the unseen wealth order and had on the Minister of um, National Security and also the opposition spokesperson. One of the things that the Minister, Dr. Harris Chan, said was that the unexplained wealth order, because it has the reverse onus, the reverse responsibility, meaning that when asked about where you get something, you have to, the accused has to provide that information in terms of where they would have gotten. Even though I gather that is an established law already, the minister is saying that um, it infringes on the Charter of Rights and Freedom. Just to point out that this law, which is in the Integrity Commission of the Corruption, is part of the Corruption Prevention, where they ask you how you acquired, how you came by this asset. It came into place in 2017. The Charter of Rights and Freedom was actually from 2011. So our legislator put in a law, basically, which infringes or is unconstitutional, basically, in terms of what the good minister was saying. They believe that it's unconstitutional. And this is the same piece of legislation that the Prime Minister is now challenging in the courts. So at the same time, the Credo Larceny Act also has a same requirement whereby I think they're called agricultural warden, can stop a car and with goats in there and ask the occupants of the car to say how you came by those goats. And if you can't provide any legitimate information, you can then be summarily charged. So it exists there, and that the same in terms of statutory declaration, it also exists there too. So we have three pieces of legislation which based on what the national security minister is now suggesting, infringes on the charter, meaning it's unconstitutional. With that being said, I take note of the fact that it is the Minister of National Security, it is the Prime Minister who's challenging this. They currently form the government. So I cannot understand for the life of me why they are not in Parliament trying to change the law to ensure that it's not unconstitutional. It's mind-boggling. You're saying in one hand, you're outside saying this may be unconstitutional, or we believe it's unconstitutional. That's why we're not moving forward. But yet still, they're leaving it on the law books. How can that make sense? I don't understand how that can make sense. And so, the opposition spokesperson and Leon Jackson Miller suggested that they would like to see the legal opinion, which says that the things called reverse order is infringes on the charter. It's but he hasn't provided any information on that. So that is something that we definitely should see or make made public to us from that regards, because we cannot, the government, I think it's irresponsible of the government and disingenuous of them, quite frankly, to be saying something is unconstitutional there or infringes on charter, which suggests to me that it's unconstitutional, and then they're leaving it in place. It doesn't make any sense from that perspective, and I would, through this, it's called reverse burden of proof. Through your platform, Dervan, I would certainly ask him if the minister can give us more information. We also have a Minister of National Security, what's the other Minister of Justice, and we have quite capable and able Minister of Constitutional Affairs. And is that it? Just that it? Constitutional Affairs. Was there something else? You remember?
Yeah, constitutional affairs.
Okay. Somebody who was quite capable. So if one of them could give us some information on this, because if something is infringing on, if there's a piece of legislation, even though it may have been passed by the state government, is actually infringing on our rights, we should be aware of it, and the government should take steps to correct that, in my opinion. I don't know if you see it the same way.
Well, if something is wrong, if something is inappropriate, if something is inadequate, well, we act accordingly.
Yes, I agree. Last thing, Dervan, I just want to use this opportunity to say, to wish Dr. Fairgrant, to wish her best wishes for the future. I gather she's no longer with you guys, but she was always somebody that was accessible on Twitter, and if there's a problem, a lot of times when the Power 106 app is down, would send her a tweet, and she would respond. So she wasn't, in my opinion, like some of the other people too big to speak with the common man. And I wanted to big her up for that. I haven't met her outside or know of anything outside of our Twitter interactions. So I just want to, but I respect her for always being responsive via that platform. So I just want to wish her all the best for the future. Thank you very much for the time, Dervan, and all the best.
You too. Take care. This is both sides of the story, Poro 106 FM. Still taking your calls on 876 922 4112 to 5. 876 922 4112 to 5. And the text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, 876 365 3346. 876 365 3346. Franklin McDonald says, Dervan, you're a caller from Toronto. Your caller from Toronto is asking you a hypothetical question. Anyone can be nominated. Only one can be elected. The filter for the question he raises is elections. Perhaps he needs to do a course in critical thinking. And a follow-up message, perhaps you should remind your caller that a medical doctor is not an expert on the Constitution. Thank you, Mr. McDonald, for your message. And now to Horace, otherwise known as Spider, says, Mr. Malcolm, there is a saying in Jamaica from mostly tradesmen and women saying the customer keeps giving them the runaround. So sometimes they do things that they don't normally do. The Integrity Commission could be having the same problem. Maybe they, do you mean the IC? I wonder if that's what Horace meant, but something is missing. Uh, the All right, let's stand by to go to the break. Let's take the break and see if we can figure it out.
Contractors, developers, and small builders contact coast-to-coast group of companies for high-quality concrete products. The time at coast-to-coast group of companies is local. Join us weekdays from 6 to 8 p.m. for Power Play. Our participants active program that makes the world of sports. But it's really telling to dinner. Power Play with Chris Williams, focusing on everything sports in Jamaica and around the world. Power Play provides you sports analysis and discussion. Our one of the our one of
Mhm. Just a moment. Thanks a lot for staying with us here on both sides of the story, Power 106 FM. So we were responding to a message by Horace, otherwise known as Spider, and the he made the correction. See it that way. That's the section that was a little off. So the message says, so if they wait and wait and wait, so maybe they have enough and put out what they have. Back in the days when my mother sent me to shop, and if the shop didn't have all of what she wanted, I took what they had and went somewhere else to get the rest. I don't sit and wait on the shopkeeper. Okay. Horace, otherwise known as Spider. sharing an analogy with us. Thank you. As we continue with more on both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. We see Kevin Galloway on YouTube. Thank you for checking in. Super thanks to you, he says. And friends, for Jesus' sake, here and abroad. Yes and amen, says Kevin Galloway or Galloway Kevin. Thank you very much for connecting with us as usual here on both sides of the story. Hello to Jeannie Chambers. She says, good afternoon, teacher. Good afternoon, Jeannie Chambers. And now to Miss Hermin Bowie Bailey, saying, hello, Mr. Malcolm. God's blessings always. Watching from New York. Good to have you tuning in from New York, Hermin Bowie Bailey. Thank you very much. Cherry Henry says, good afternoon, Mr. Dervan and listeners. Good afternoon, Cherry Henry. Thank you for logging on as well and being a part of the experience of both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. And Faye Weller is also on. She says, blessed afternoon, Mr. Dervan and faithful listeners. To you too, Faye Weller. Thank you for connecting. Good to have you on board. Let's remind you of the numbers 876-922-4112-5. 876-922-4112-5. And the text line is the same as the WhatsApp number 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. Faye Weller says, I'm here listening on my radio. Good to know you're listening, Faye Weller. Thank you. Welcome. And Wilfred is now joining us. Hello, good afternoon, Wilfred. How are you?
Good afternoon, Dervan.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, man, I was listening to your Canada comment, you know, and
That's
listening,
Steve.
About Isaac Buchanan. And I'm saying, is this the same JLP that we had in 2010, 2011 with the Douglas issue and the massacre downtown speaking now? How can that guy become a MP 60 years in jail? It's two different total scenarios. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
We have a prime minister from Spanish Town. We want JLP, one other territory that is currently being accused of illicit enrichment. What is he talking about? The man do his time a top lawyer, rehabilitating. He ain't condemned for life, otherwise you'd have been in jail, right?
Yes, I get the point you're making. You
come on, becomes a lawyer, top lawyer, get cartel free, like in big courts and things like that, young guy, And then Dervan is here told that war in the Middle East gonna be huge. Because when you hit Israel, most of the quads, their hangar, that is where they keep their planes and thing, which is the number one fighting units, You know you're going to be a terrific response and you're going to respond again, And so you call that war.
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Ain't no stopping it. The things are in motion, as we speak.
Yes.
There's the Bible Revelation, perilous times, and then you see the death rate rising in USA from Hurricane Helene, I tell him Miss Harris going to have a tough time winning North Carolina, and so God going to have a tough time winning that section of the coast affected, The perils of hurricanes, is like God speak in the midst of everything that is happening, which no climate change from the proponent to say they could have prevented. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Things happen.
Someone before you go on, someone is saying not what's his name now? Is saying please. This is from Steve in Toronto. Please let your caller know that Dudus would be eligible to be an MP when he returns from prison.
If they allow a prime minister to resign, if they allow a prime minister to resign and the people come and look, he could have been the MP at the time when the person who was prime minister resigned. He was the president of the area. Right? So that what's new about that? You get what I'm saying? No retreat, no surrender. What new is he saying?
So what is?
They choose him to be the candidate, and they choose him to be a candidate who has, no matter who has PMP or who has company, who gonna stop him? You get what I'm saying, Dervan?
Yeah, I hear you.
That's how the thing is. But the thing is, Mr. Buchanan has completely rehabilitating his law degree in court big cases, a totally different person. And a person convicted in America, that's how I'm telling the difference between American and Jamaican. They catch a person with 10 tons of cocaine. In Jamaica, they give them 6 months, 1 year slap on the wrist. They catch a guy a Jamaican in America with the ounce or 2 down, they get 10 years. You get what I'm saying, Dervan?
What they caught him with?
If they catch them with a ounce, they get all up to 10 years in America. And it necessarily have to be on them. It could have been somebody's doing it and the police didn't take him have it. You get what I'm saying? This American church merchants. And that's a black man who was a black young guy. They talk that the system here perfect when it is not. And our governments, like I tell you, a guy get caught with a ton of cocaine in Jamaica from England or America, probably due to a we keep our jails. You know that the U.S. human rights and the British human rights going to complain because they don't want their citizens using shit bucket. This is the mislead pronunciation. That's what these people call them at our level in jail and so forth. You get what I'm saying? They call it inhumane treatment, which is what we give our people. You understand? I'm telling you, it's a thing that I think about, and I know that those things do exist proportionally. Oh, we sentence versus how they do in America and so forth, for the same crime, and we treat them very much softer than they treat the Jamaican, for example, for simple things. And when they deport them, but when put do all the song about deportee, he apologize to boom bye bye, but apologize to deportee, which is wrong to do. Can tell you blacks get treated unfairly sometimes, some do the crime, do their time and get deported, which is double sentencing too, double punishment, and then think, in my the final level. You get what I'm saying? That's the point I'm trying to say.
Yes. Jacka said the world on a level.
Yeah, and it never level will be level for now. You see, how the Prime Minister, I tried to block out the law to knock him. Not tabling the full report. The guy who Mark Bolin sued for defamation became the speaker to carry out that particular function. And people call him under all kind of names now. It's like they bring the thing into this recruit and it's an election year. And something either Andrew have to call the KD already came to pack his bag and go. And he coming from India into hot water, just the same. because you're going to the IC the law, which most of the people seems to be in compliance is who are required to file to such things to the integrity competition, which is stuck with top former lawyers, judges, top judges. You get what I'm saying? Got play people. Not people who hand you can say he have more integrity than. You get what I'm saying? Our politicians. And it's wrong to politicize this thing. And he ain't gonna win them in court. Andrew tired of losing case. And needs just the other day, Powell and so beat him again from the whole JLP senator with the sign and the signature. Those are just little fake things, just like a threatening. Nothing less, nothing that you can see to say that the person actually did threaten. He just said things over the cup of his lip to please politics and try show up support and look sympathies. You get what I'm saying? Because like I tell people in the common sense, tell me, no little PMP also have hand to private house number and inside the house number people call.
Hold on, please.
Yeah, Sister Buda and say Eli and baby Bruce. You have a blessed day. All I know we see I go. It is the fight against the Rasta man. That's how they build a world of total confusion. With the line deception and contortion. But we got the fire, one love.
By providing you with a steady income when you are unable to work for an extended period due to illness or injury. If you want help managing your money, find a fee-only financial planner to provide unbiased advice.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Paro 106 FM. Taking your calls on 876 922 4112 to 5. 876 922 4112 to 5. The text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, 876 365 3346. 876 365 3346. And someone has fired back, someone from Canada fired back to say, caller, forget 2010 and a particular political party and what was caused and who had to resign, etc. Thank you for your message. As we continue with more here on Both Sides of the Story, Paro 106 FM, taking your calls on 876 922 4112 to 5, and the text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876 365 3346. Thank you very much for your calls and your messages. We'll continue to look out for them. And we thank you very much as we keep it going here on both sides of the story, Power 106 FM. And it's what is clear is that members of the diaspora have been more plugged in than ever before, and they are very aware of all that has been happening, not since yesterday or day before or 3 days ago, not since last week or last month or last year, but they have made it their point of duty to keep watch over Jamaica, land we love, and to respond as needed. But definitely not sitting around and wishing and hoping and wishing and hoping. No, they're getting the job done. Thank you very much for your messages. And we remind you of the numbers to call: 876 922 4112 to 5. 876 922 4112 to 5. The text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876 365 3346. 876 365 3346. As we continue with more on both sides of the story, Power 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Live on your smart devices all over the world. Here's another message coming in. And I get the impression that a lot of Jamaicans, especially those in the diaspora, have a knack of taking us back, bringing us forward, and preparing us for what is to come. So this one says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. Long time listener, first time caller. We're delighted to hear that. Thank you very much. On the matter of destroying school property, I'm guilty. Back in the 1970s, I was a student at Whitfield All Age. While the teacher was out of the classroom, I was attacked by a bully. To defend myself, I grabbed the teacher's chair, swung it at him, missed, hit the wall, and broke one of the legs. I was foolish enough to put the leg back together and put it back under his desk. When the teacher returned and sat on the chair, he fell. He was more angry than embarrassed and demanded who did it. Nobody said anything, but all eyes were on me. I guess the guilt was all over my face. Immediately, his thick leather strap came down wickedly on the entire side length of my left forearm, which left a welt and pained me for days. Also, I was immediately sent to the principal's office to be caned on my backside. I paid dearly for my indiscipline, says this listener. Thank you very much for sharing your story, the circumstances notwithstanding. Thank you, and all the best to you. Don't worry, we're not going to disclose your name, but it's good when we can face certain realities, apologize, and move on. Thank you. Let's continue. Uh, Caller holding the line here. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling. Hold on just a moment, please. Let's make sure I am ready. Just a moment. Okay, here we go now. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, yes, Mr. Malcolm. Afternoon to you.
Good afternoon. What's on your
Yes, and
mind this
afternoon
afternoon?
to a lot of things, man. I will dashboard of things, but I have to just touch a little piece. We're not here in Power 106 in my region here, Mr. Malcolm. Um, well, sometime if I'm on the outside, but once we go inside, I'm not getting it on the radio at all. And even last night, we never get listen past either. It was frying, so I don't know. And this before the storm, me notice, so I don't know if I have a technical problem or what, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But then to get it more power up because now pick up your car. And Power 106 used to be so powerful, you pick it up everywhere you go.
We have no doubt the team is on it, and it
Yes, sir.
should be improved sooner than later.
Yeah, yes, Mr. Malcolm, that's true. It has to be improved, you know,
Mhm.
because that's the only station we listening to every day. So if they don't improve it, we're not going to make it at all. Because when we not listen Power 106, we don't feel happy.
Mhm.
And today is my birthday,
Really?
and yeah, I mean,
Happy
it
happy
depends on the Power
birthday.
106 because the open hills, when my birthday coming on, Mr. Malcolm, me not going nowhere, this a whole month me drawing on my shell. If me even catch one pan of water, I throw away. Me, for me bad luck now, train tell me be way down na the first week of December. So anytime I touch my birthday, me done with the road, me no push out none at all. Just from where me is just up to up by the farm and back, and me just most of the time me just feel jittery.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So,
man. So it goes, Me they try send up one little antenna here to go and listen to you because I'm speaking easy at the moment. Once it touch October, pop, me be careful of what me say, Mr. Malcolm. All me say is Jesus.
mhm.
So I will just keep listening.
All right. Thank you for the call. Sorry you're having issues hearing. Hope hope it will
Yes,
get better.
yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks for the call. This is both sides of the story. Paro 106 FM. I'm Dervan Malcolm. We're still taking your calls on 876-922-4112 to 5. 876-922-4112 to 5. The text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. So we continue to look out for your messages and your calls here on both sides of the story, Paro 106 FM, and looking forward to more of your messages as we continue on both sides of the story. Power 106 FM and taking your calls on 876 922 4112 to 5. 876 922 4112 to 5. And the text line, as usual, same as the WhatsApp number, 876 365 3346. Cherry Henry says, Mr. Dervan, I hope I will soon get Power 106 on my radio in Tar Isle, St. Mary. Have a good afternoon. Good afternoon to you as well, and sorry that you too are having issues hearing Power 106 FM from where you are in Tar Isle, St. Mary. But we thank you for bringing the information to our attention. At least we know knowledge is power. We can always take it from there. There's more after the break.
Tell us about any illegal guns coming through customs controlled areas. Call Crime Stop at 311. The top target Customs Police is in the Join us weekdays from 6 to 8 p.m. for Power Play. Our 106 FM's flagship program dedicated to the world of sports. Power Play. My name is Kid Williams. Power Play with Cliff Williams, focusing on everything sports in Jamaica and around the world. Make sure to tune in to Power Play, providing invigorating sports analysis and discussion. Weekdays from 6 to 8 p.m. on Power 106 FM and the Power 106 FM app. Welcome to your legal corner on Power 106 FM, your source of information for all matters regarding U.S. immigration. Call in with your questions and concerns on 876-924-1125. You can send a text or WhatsApp message to 876-279-8598. Time now for your legal corner hearing both sides of the story, right here on Power 106 FM.
It is a Thursday afternoon, just after 3:30 here on both sides of the story. Power 106 FM. I'm Dervan Malcolm. The program is Your Legal Corner with U.S. Immigration Attorney Dahlia Walker Huntington. Here is your opportunity to get in your questions. Anything to do with U.S. immigration matters. Anything to do with U.S. immigration matters. You're at the right place at the right time. Here are the numbers to call: 876 922 4112 to 5. 876 922 4112 to 5. The text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876 365 3346. 876 365 3346. There's also 876 279 8598. 876 279 8598. Any subject to dealing with U.S. immigration matters in general terms. This is the time, this is the place, and we trust you will benefit from the wisdom of Dahlia Walker Huntington. Hello, Miss Dahlia. Good afternoon. How are you? Please forgive me. I think I've been missing you and maybe you missing me. Wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us. Well. Uh, we usually check to see how we're doing. How are we doing at this time? How are things going? Mhm. Oh, okay. All right. Well, let's let's get in a call right now. This is your legal corner during both sides of the story, Poro 106 FM, and we have a caller on the line. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling. Good afternoon. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. I think about this time, yeah. Thank you much.
Indeed. Thank you for the call. This is your legal corner during both sides of the story, Poro 106 FM. Any matter having to do with U.S. immigration, this is the time, this is the place. And U.S. Immigration Attorney Delia Walker Huntington is standing by to play her part in general terms. And so we're still taking your calls 876 922 4112 to 5. 876 922 4112 to 5. There are a couple of text lines 876 365 3346 876-365-3346 or 876-279-8598. 876-279-8598. So you referenced the business of mailing ballots. Mm. Yes. Okay, a couple more messages coming in, Miss Delia. This one says, "Hi, uh, hi, Mr. Malcolm and Miss Walker Huntington. I'm in the F4 category, and I did my interview on the 8th of August, and from that time, I didn't hear from them. How long after you should get a response? Can you shed some light on this for me, please? Have a great afternoon, you both."
and they just miss that communication, just reach out to find out what is the issue. Are they still doing further processing or is it something that they're missing?
Okay. And another one here. Good day, Dervan. Could you pass this message to the immigration lawyer for me? I was turned back from the USA for fraudulent documents from 1998. Can I apply now? Can I be filed for?
So there's a two-step process. Can they apply now? They want to apply for non-immigrant visa. That fraud is still there. And they would require a non-immigrant waiver to be granted before they would get a visa to travel to the US. If they are going to be filed for, family member is going to petition for them. Only if the family member is a parent or a spouse would they qualify for an immigrant visa. So let's say you're female age 50 and you have a 30-year-old American citizen son. But in 1998, you committed immigration fraud. That son files for you to get all the way to the U.S. Embassy for an interview, and then you may be denied the green card and told to go and see if you are eligible for a waiver. If the petitioner is your adult American citizen son or daughter, there is no waiver from law from your American citizen son or daughter. However, if the petitioner is a parent or a spouse, then there is what we call a party waiver that is available for the parent or the spouse to apply for. Whether they get it or not is another issue, but at least they can apply for it.
Okay, you're listening to your legal corner during both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. U.S. Immigration Attorney Delia Walker Huntington is online with us as well, making sure that those who need information can, in fact, get that information. In the meantime, well, let's take this break and come back. 3:47 p.m.
The Caribbean Maritime University, an ISO certified institution, offers Bachelor of Science degrees in cruise shipping, Bachelor of Engineering degrees, logistics, marine tourism, port management, security administration and management, and more. For further information, call 876-924-8150, 876-924-8175, or email info@cmu.edu.jm.
You're listening to Your Legal Corner, your source of information on all matters regarding U.S. immigration. You can call in with your questions and concerns on 876-924-1125. You can send a text or WhatsApp message to 876-279-8598. Now, back to Your Legal Corner hearing both sides of the story on Power 106 FM.
So, in terms of the Miss Delia, in terms of the issues, are those steady? Are those fixed, or are they still changing from? Yes. Mhm. That is right. Demographically speaking, in general terms, from where you sit, what do the people really want? Or am I going too far? No, in general terms, and uh, yeah, America. Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
certain number of votes, the majority electoral college, and the 30 states that can take up that that is the focus because they're looking for electoral college votes to add to your core state. So that's why all gas on your great thank you.
And another message has come through. American citizens filing for unmarried child. How long will it take? Hmm. Okay, let's just remind our listeners of the numbers and that we're coming close to the end of today's edition of Your Legal Corner with U.S. Immigration Attorney Delia Walker Huntington. So, those who have been planning on sending a message to get to ask some questions, to find out what is possible, etc., etc., etc. Let's remind you of the numbers quickly before time runs out. 876 922 4112 to 5. 876 922 4112 to 5. These are the numbers to call if you wish to ask a question in relation to U.S. immigration matters, anything at all to do with U.S. immigration matters. You've come to the right place, and we encourage you to go ahead with your questions right now before time runs out. So don't do what some voters do or don't do. Yes. Mm-hmm. Partner, same thing, but mhm. Hmm. Yes. And this, I think this is a corollary to another message. Should they, oh, we're out of time. So we'll, yes. Thank you too. Definitely looking forward to that. You too. Bye bye. That's it for this week's edition of Your Legal Corner with U.S. Immigration Attorney Delia Walker Huntington.
Just listen to Your Legal Corner, your source of information for all matters regarding U.S. immigration. Join us next Thursday at 3:30 p.m. for Your Legal Corner during both sides of the story, right here on Power 106 FM. At Wellington Dental, they offer cleaning, filling, whitening, and other services for the entire family. The time by Wellington Dental is
401 on Power 106.
You heard God's voice. You felt it in your life, at times deeply. God loves you. God speaks to you in your thoughts, in your heart, and through living prophets. Listen to those living prophets during the General Conference of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Come, hear the words God has for you.
live on Power 106 FM on Saturday, October 5 and Sunday, October 6.
Thanks for staying with us here on your program, both sides of the Power 106 FM. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112 to 5, and our text line same as the WhatsApp number 876-365-3346. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling. All right, hold on. You're trying to get through to us at the same time. Just a moment. Let's fix this. We got you. Yes. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Yes, sir, we're doing.
Fine, thanks. And you?
I'm here chilling. No, I'm hearing, I don't know if I'm hearing right, but I'm hearing some things on the news that the Prime Minister is now filing some paperwork in court to have him name clear. But part of the process is that to make it mandatory that the Integrity Commission people them cannot investigate public official for what I call it now, illicit enrichment. Is that true?
Come again.
I'm hearing that the Prime Minister filing some paper in court to clear him name
Mm-hmm.
with the Integrity Commission people. But part of the process what him file is so the court must rule that they cannot investigate public official for illicit enrichment.
No,
Is that true?
no, I'm not sure about that.
So what you learning news about that?
That the commission is doing what it is supposed to be doing.
So the paperwork that them same file, it have nothing to do with them.
I don't know.
Okay. All right. We'll talk about it on next time.
Mm-hmm.
But what about this thing where them say, because I was listening to the talk show today, I think yesterday, where them said the police in Jamaica can stop anybody and search them phone. And sometimes missing people with a fire number and even charge them and put them before the court. Is that true?
I'm not aware of that.
So, you know, come up in the news where police stop people and search them and check them phone and charge them for some fire number, say them are scammers or something like that.
Somebody said they saw or heard somebody doing that.
Well, the person was saying that that's how the police do it in Jamaica, and some part of Jamaica and everywhere, and that's how they engage upon the scammers. But
well, we have to be careful that we don't talk. We have to be careful that we don't talk about what we don't know.
Okay, I was saying, you know, your phone is a private property. The court have to give order for that, so that sounds surprising to me.
Mm.
So you said nothing like that going on?
No, I didn't say that. I said I'm not aware of that.
All right, I understand that. All right, I'll switch something else until we get some more official word on that one. What about I hear them promise that the road them have $2 billion right through the island to get the road them that big up are in the product condition up and rolling. So what is one of the process?
It's a function of who is doing the work, who is signing off. When is it? When are they signing off on it? And
every week. Go ahead.
And related matters. There's no mystery to it. It's sometimes there are holdups, not robberies. There are holdups and holdouts. So sometimes it's just a matter of trying to find out what is holding up the process. So identify the decision makers and alert them to the fact that time is running out to get the work done.
Yeah, but who is supervising who? That's the first thing.
The contractors, the people who get paid, the people who plan the development of the road or to repair that particular stretch of road or another stretch of road. There's no mystery to it.
Yeah, but if you have the man in St. Thomas or Black Road, then you have the man in St. Mary, then you have the man in Westmoreland. That let me say somebody now supervise.
Well, you're free to demonstrate your disgust if you think that the work is not being done properly or isn't being done at all.
So is that case where they do it when they feel like doing it?
You're asking questions that you know the answers to.
Yeah, that's what I see it. What they should do, I remember when Mr. Siaga was Prime Minister, and I think Bruce Golden was the man in charge of the road. I remember clearly that they 2 years straight, 2 years straight, and go right through the island and try to get all the road that them can fix. And so we didn't have this much problem like we hearing now. I even see the other day they showing on the news taxi man if you same as a mechanic shop I'll chief 4 times a week, front end lick out. And then again the money that cost him to go to the mechanic shop and for buy a pass, man so boy I look like I get out of that business because it work out for him. And as you and I know, the MP is nowhere run until election draw near. And we can't continue like this, man.
No, we shouldn't be continuing like this.
Yeah, but when the people are crying, it's got to fall on their fears.
Well, the people have the power any way you take it. They have.
Yeah, but
go ahead.
Sorry. The only action I see them can take and get some immediate action from the MP. Make him know, say, listen, boss, you can't do what we are doing. But remember, my election coming up. And that to keep him moving. But until that time come around, crying don't mean a thing to him. Right, Aaron?
Crime don't mean a thing to who?
Crying don't mean a thing to the MP until elections draw near. You can block all the road you want, you can demonstrate all you want. It don't mean nothing to him until elections draw near. That's when you see him get busy like when time fall one lane. Because he knows him have something at stake.
Yeah, well, they should prepare for the hotter clubs.
No, man, they have to take it. They have to take it into consideration that listen, the people put me there and have to do the people's work. They want any service to give it to them. They want better road to give it to them. All the government service that we need, that's what we vote for you for. A guy tell me years ago, never come out of my head. Business create to make money. Government create to provide service. If you now provide the service to the people, after a while, they might get frustrated and get rid of you. So, them say next year is election, so let's see what them have in place from now until next year.
We'll see.
All right, boss. Thank you very much.
All right, thanks for the call. This is both sides of the story. Poro 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Let's take another call. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling. I am giving thanks for life, and you?
Oh, we are giving thanks to the mighty life giver who give us life to live, And the man who can give us life to live, he didn't want to die, but minister and the life that he could have lived forever, Tell you something. This year, King Charles Prime Minister, Mark Holding, each the other day.
No, which one of them?
He said, a corrupt government cannot liberate people. And if the head of the screen is dirty, the whole screen dirty, or will get dirty. No, I want like this Prime Minister know what he said. Or you see that still, a corrupt government cannot liberate people. And we have a policy with a black population. And I said, this government of Jamaica cannot liberate people, which is the father.
Yeah, that's palpably clear.
Because these two political
corruption cannot liberate. So we're referring to this government. They have to vote in population. Know that the time is that you hear that with word. You know, that corrupt government can not save that can liberate, can free. So we'll not get back at the political party from all educated.
Hold a moment, please.
Today's world is filled with noise and confusion. Yet, though it's all you feel God's thoughts, you felt it in your life at times deeply. God loves you. God speaks to you in your thoughts, in your heart, and through living prophets. The Church of Jesus Christ in Latter-day Saints shares ways you can find hope and healing no matter your circumstances. Join Power 106 FM this Saturday, October 5 from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. and 3 to 5 p.m. and Sunday, October 6 from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. and 3 to 5 p.m. for coverage of the conference and to hear a special message for the world. This broadcast is brought to you by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. That's coverage of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints General Conference this Saturday, October 5, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. and 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. and Sunday, October 6, 10:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. and 3 to 5 p.m. right here on Power 106 FM.
Thanks a lot for staying with us on both sides of the story, Paro 106 FM. Still taking your calls on 876-922-4112 to 876-922-4112 and the text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. Here are a few messages that have come in since we last checked. Well, let's go to the phone lines first. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling. Oh, thanks for holding the line. The order of precedence. Yes, it's a general recognition on people and where they stand in the overall picture of the democracy. If you want to put that in there, go ahead. Mhm.
So all the work the government here in Jamaica, you know, they are here as a African nation, you know, and it's back to Jamaica. So they just try the British honor, you know, to get here go and hold us down in Jamaica, you know. Sometimes you know something happens like, you know, a corrupt government, a corrupt financial society to divide us as a people, you know, from 1952, to divide us in a labor right and freedom, you know. And if you don't serve the president as black friends and that, and if you go to political party from 90, then unite us as a people are the divide of politics in the what people then unite us as a people are the dividers and take us against ourselves as a Russian one currency right now. You know, labor rights and freedom all over the place. I want to go and unite. And so I want to take that side, but I'm trying to, you know, this market yard behind us, our founding father of Black Panthers, Black Pride, Black Respect. So I want to power ourselves, yeah? African America, Transatlantic, colonizer, Jamaica road, 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 you know, don't see them and then politics. I see the moment you see the man and police, they are not serving for what they do. Because the father says to the right hand, Lord, and two political people that are part. And the same people that do that are what are doing again. What total body part from both and not so. Two political parties. Them liars to them liars to that is here. Appear bad. The African standard that is the best right and technical society. And can't be there. Why can't be there? And someone else tell them that and see the person back for Africa. No? The person back for the black belt. But he doesn't take the stand like, no? Man, the next year, that bird, they put that they are the that the place of us, no? Those guys, the man of God, the cold that I wear, you know? He come out about, although that man is like the white man, you know? The white man. But the man can never put now, never drop so, you know? So it is that, you know? The man can never drop so, the man, you know? And we tour a black panther and tour white, and that, and I see. So, let us say, for one thing, I will try to see, I have seen. When I get my life, no matter if I got one, they need to make the whole thing that way. They carry down one, don't go out to body pass, and if you command that, the other day, they are going to call you them government, and then the commander, now, that is head of the armed forces of Jamaica. The team guys for you Canada, France, and all of them come in the highway, and instead of that, and them, so yes, things guys that. Sometimes the hand will do that. So the governor general has to you know, instead of that country, then photograph not in that anywhere in other world, as a military can try to stand up, you know, for what they hide. Some kind of jam and two, and okay, collect party to the one of Macassar and the real man and judgment.
Really?
Yeah, I know that was doing that word. I come and then and me and so again
So have you reported the matter to the police?
police,
Hmm.
police and the vaccine and the man, the whole of them like you know, so now from police guard and I go one of them crowd inside, the whole of them serve vaccine and all the work in government, you know, some do it and some don't, you know, and I get to get that we have the chance to from that imperialism and colonialism, you know.
You can't stop it?
They are educated, they must educate those are who have the whole national right to pass away and go to the those high school, go down high school, you know, go. But you can't get no one to do that, get with them. But you can't have imperialism and colonialism.
Sounds like you have done a remarkable job.
So we are doing a remarkable job. Market job and Rastafari, you know,
Mm.
children here in Jamaica. We are standing in the state that side of a black community, you know, and demanding our land, you know, because we have one too long, you know, see, we have one too long in this government from 1956. We are here in Jamaica before Jamaica independence, you know, see, when when everyone was talking about Africa, South, that kind of stuff, or everybody has to go and I look to America. Everyone was talking about our black people, and I can see two political parties matched up, sabotage, in a new country, you know, see. So what we are going to do, when we have to come back again to back, because we are not seeing that we can unite as a black family, in a government world, as black people, you know, see, and stop it. Okay.
Well, H. Morgan in Birmingham says, hello, Dervan. Good afternoon. I can't understand why Jamaican politicians won't stop the tit for tat stupidness. I refer to the latest Vaz visa saga. Instead of the politicians banding together to fight the crime monster that is plaguing the country, they continue to say derogatory things about each other. This is why Jamaica's politics is never and will never be clean if they continue in this manner. What kind of example are they setting for the young people who may one day take their places? It's time this nonsense stops. Disgraceful. This is H. Morgan in Birmingham. When is the ship sailing? Thank you for the call. We have to go to the break. Take care. You too. This is both sides of the story, Paro 106. More in a moment.
Today's world is full of noise and confusion, yet through it all, you've heard God's voice. You felt it in your life, at times deeply. God loves you. God speaks to you in your thoughts, in your heart, and through living prophets. Listen to those living prophets during the General Conference of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Come, hear the words God has for you.
Live on Power 106 FM on Saturday, October 5 and Sunday, October 6.
A few more messages to clear here on both sides of the story. Para 106 FM. This one says, "Good afternoon, Sir Malcolm. We were told by the transportation minister that our students would have gotten the opportunity to ride the JRC train from Spanish Town to Linstead, Old Harbour, and Bogwalk in St. Catherine for the September fall semester to take the children safely to school and back. What's happening with that program? And can we get an update from the administration about the running of the trains?" That's the question. Over to the transport minister. The follow-up message here, Sir Malcolm, we see where the Spark program must be rolled out over and over, and we can see no improvement towards the conditions of the road. The government must speak the truth and stop re-announcing in the same thing, and the roads aren't fixed, says Cuban in Georgia. H. Morgan in Birmingham says, "Sir, the Pope can say what he wants, but can't convince anyone to do his will. To your Black Star liner, you have been waiting for this for over 100 years, and it can't arrive. Continue waiting," says H. Morgan in Birmingham. To the phone lines once again, 876-922-4112-5. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling. Hi, Miss Mervis. You're very kind. I'm fine. That's quite humbling.
Listening to all the callers and the messages and from without coming up first time. They're not easy, you know. They're not want to tell off the foreigner, they must we're Jamaica. You know, for they live up the little work that way we live down here. My concern, you know, Dervan.
Mm-hmm.
You see, when I'm listening from the state that the matter here, you know. But if the call, when somebody call in,
Yes.
it's very low. I don't know what's going on, and a lot of people complaining they're not hearing power. I don't know if it's something playing with the line or what, but something is really going on with power that I don't like. You know, too many people saying they can't hear power, and it's low because the other evening I was listening to you. After I spoke there, I was listening, and we realized it's low. You see, after the program finished, the radio got so loud I have to turn it down. Very low. But while your program was going on, the callers and stuff, very low. I don't know what is going on here. I have to go ask the Almighty. Please help it and then take it home. I look at some demon up in the atmosphere then. I interfere with what is supposed to be power. Eh? What name?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir. My contention is about these yes or these people. That is not the main one, but they're running. Was saying that they must merge emancipation and independence. I heard that this time on program. But then we must consider that this nation is a mixed multitude. You know, so many one people come from all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
Some people weren't, the poor parents were not slaves. We need to remember that. That is only with black people. The Africans, you have to talk about black and talk about the Africans and the Europeans and the Star which is black and whatever and white. Yes, the situation is, as I was listening to Simon's program, the Almighty said to me, we are forgetting that not everybody in here poor parents come out of slavery. So you will get this kind of argument. And the rest of when they want to go back to Africa, in that is them forget what yesterday. It was quick and here than, what is like? It's like the Almighty set me back to slavery. And like I was standing to see all of the slaves and the working and everything, and the only thing was start running some slaves. Like I was seeing this thing so vividly, what the slavery thing looked like, the plantation and the thing. Yeah? So
Mm-hmm.
those who talking about Jamaica as capital, no, me love, it's not a capital, the poor parents pay for this. We know about the middle passage and all them history there with them throw them overboard and do all manner of people to them and so on. So when I buy them stuff down, the next thing I'm going to tell the rest of them thing. My Marcus Garvey, I'm going to rescue Marcus Garvey that from this rasta thing. Marcus did not wear that. He didn't smoke ganja. And he didn't sell a thing of that. No, he didn't. Marcus Garvey was a man that was inspired by God to take some message to the African people all across the globe out of slavery in the area. See, that is who he was. My daddy saw him as a prophet from God. He ran election in my constituency in Pennsylvania. A group out was there where we used to have functions in. So Marcus Garvey didn't have what some people put him out here to be. And I am surprised that we don't have some ship. The rest of them don't have some ship going between Jamaica and Africa trading. I am really surprised. I'm not the first time saying it. That is what Marcus Garvey showed them with the Black Star Line and trading into the top also. Now we need to pull up with tax in this year and national repentance reconciliation we're going to talk about for 30 years now. We did it November 1 to October 31st for that year. And these states or the people too need to understand that they were, their art program came into being. So them same private sector people used to take students from school who pass them CC or whatever and take them in their business place and them throw in the business to them all become money there, Durban.
That's true.
So on the road them start to talk, them only want people with experience. Where would they get the experience, Durban? Eh?
On the job.
Yes, the best people you work on you have are the on the job one. But when I went back to my head alone, I remember it now, and in my head I gotta bring them back. And I tell them to tell the nation where it's coming from. So them can't say they talk about merge holiday, you know what? And some kind of nonsense going on out there. God said it look like him out with ton of content. I'm gonna walk through the content then. Because we lost the content, we don't be running. The question was asked what happened to the nation. God said the nation has lost its content. Yes. Some people not no content. Burn out the Bible, they burn out as if Christian with a hot iron. You see? But the private sector people that need to remember where this thing comes. Some of them not come from Jamaica, they not come out of slavery. You must remember that. So they will say anything. Alright? The next matter here is this education thing that I am very concerned about. Always very concerned about. It's getting to Madam Permanent Secretary, please. Some of the things where you're talking about that were tried already and failed. And I don't know if anybody can tell the Ministry of Education people that a lot of these things are doing were tried and failed long time. They went from Singapore to find much that no work out. Now they've gone to China. What you trying to tell me? If it's in 30% of the students pass in mathematics, are you telling me that no math person in Jamaica face the math situation in Dervan?
Well, with the in the advent, if we keep having these brain drains, then
No, but
it's
you're not
likely.
taking here now. You're not going to take up all kind of high tech technology stuff to do all kind of whatever else. That's why I set up some technology stuff for the teachers to know what and them staff room and stuff. You know what I have not heard there, but me not hear nothing as to where the weakness of the math is. You hear anything like that? Eh?
No, I
Everybody
haven't.
just talking about
Mhm.
the failure in mathematics. Up to now, nobody can say where the weakness is. Eh? If you can't identify the weakness, how are you going to deal with it? It not go to other teacher and an educator, we know that. You must identify the area of weakness and deal with it. And you see, because just sit down and pump up one little area like, no, education is like a black laying thing building a house, don't it?
Mm-hmm. Block,
Every
block,
one
block.
teacher must lay the block properly.
Mm-hmm.
So the 2, 3, 4, every grade.
What we have to tell the youngsters, the children, is that they should see themselves as being in the business of construction.
Yeah, that's how I see it all the while.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a lot of people to build the house, you know. All kind of skills, you know, to build, make a building. So when you go to school, as I heard Delia say one evening on our program, say, from you enter school, you're preparing for exam, you teach it more up. From you enter class exam, for exam. And the world too. So you have to be about there.
Mm-hmm.
I remember this young man coming to the office asking his woodwork he was doing. And he came to ask me to help him with some mathematics. Because he realized he couldn't continue the woodwork properly without the math. When I started to help him with the math in the Dervan, you know, remember me know anybody will learn math so fast. So they ask him, will learn the math so fast. When he go home, he go over it. You
Mm-hmm.
know, some people don't know you study math. They go over from Dervan and they say, the young man learned the mathematics so fast. So then what were you doing at school? You went to you never see that before now. But now that you get into this year and realize how valuable the math and learn the math so fast. So all this argument about going to China and Singapore and all over the place. The next thing we need to tell them, stop teaching the mathematics in past papers. You hear me? Stop teaching math in past papers and use the syllabus to teach the math. You know, the secondary area, the DC up the area, sometimes they hear them advertising some practice and we have past papers. You know what?
So they're getting a leg up.
Yeah, past papers supposed to be only used to give you an idea when you go to the exam or pass you need to work. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's how Mr. Past papers, you know, teach us anything else. Too many of them using past papers, Dervan. You know they would pass the exam and can't teach them, man. Yeah?
But
And
they
then they,
say it does help them.
eh?
They say it does help them
You know,
in terms of.
but when you drill them something and do them kind of things, if even at the common entrance, they prepare. You buy so many who can drill, who can go on. Yeah, you could prioritize school and have function burnout. Yeah, teach the curriculum, man. Teach the curriculum for what it is. We used to have some textbook like first year in English and student revise and what the other one name again, student companion and the book.
Mm-hmm.
And we use them. And then the next one after this one can use it, one you use the exercise book and all them things there. Nowadays they have them things with a whole heap of practice exercise, you know. And they look bright and grab a book there and they look funny pictures in it. And whole heap of exercise in them for practice, you know. Yeah. I don't know what is going on in the system. some people tend to just focus on one subject in a Dervan.
Indeed, we're up on a break.
We know the system very well.
Miss Mervis, we're up on a break. Thank you very much for your input as usual. Okay. Take care.
You're listening to Pearl 106 FM. The time is now
4:45. Today's world is filled with noise and confusion, yet through it all, you heard God's voice. You felt it in your life, at times deeply. God loves you. God speaks to you in your thoughts, in your heart, and through living prophets. Listen to those living prophets during the General Conference of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Come, hear the words God has for you.
live on Power 106 FM on Saturday, October 5 and Sunday, October 6.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on both sides of the story, Power 106 FM. Here's a message saying, Sir D, good day. Last week, the Justice Minister was in Hanover speaking to the youth about conflicts in school. I asked one of the youths, what he learned from all this. He replied saying, only if it was a pastor, we would listen. But we can't listen to a politician because every day they fight in Parliament. So how we believe in them? Sir, I was shocked to hear him say that. Anthony from Mobay. Thank you for your message, Anthony in Montego Bay. Raskaba says, greetings. Ask Miss Mervis to tell us what Garvey prophesied about Africa. Sorry, she's no longer on the line because the segment ended. So, Raskava, if you missed it the first time, Miss Raskava says, greetings. Ask Miss Mervis to tell us what Garvey prophesied about Africa. So, that's a message. GV says Miss Mervis is 100% correct on the maths issue and the relay approach to education. Every step is equally important. That's from GV. This one now from Sydney Morrison Donald DePass. Good afternoon to you. You should see her in her royal robe, in a manner of speaking. Looking as youthful as ever, one of our regular listeners. Sydney Morrison Donald DePass. Thank you very much for being a part of here on both sides of the story, Power 106 FM. And we're still taking your calls on 876 922 4112 to 5. 876 922 4112 to 5. And Sydney Morrison Donald DePass says, greetings. The world is she now? Let's see. She says, greetings from the USA, Florida, where I am reporting. I will be here for a long time, but still listen to you. Well, isn't that something? Thank you for sharing, and may you be forever young. Take care. Thank you for keeping us in the loop. As we continue with more in this afternoon's edition of Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106 FM. Velta Wilson, are you there? Good afternoon to you. Thank you very much. And let's clear a few more messages here on Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106 FM. So, pseudonym Morrison Donald DePass says, so God's richest blessings be to everyone, faithful staff included, will be tuned in. God for keeping us in the loop, and all the very best to you and your family. Cuban in Georgia says, Sir Malcolm, probably we have to use the reparations money to build up the fleet of Black Star liners to have a weekly cruise to Africa with goods and services. Thank you for your message. And Franklin McDonald sends us a link to Marcus Garvey on Wikipedia. Horace, otherwise known as Spider, says, Mr. Malcolm, I hear the government saying that is because of the rain why the road can't be fixed. Say we have to wait until the rain stops. Mr. Malcolm, most of these potholes are there long before the rain starts. Some of these potholes are there so long that they have names. If some of these potholes were children, they would have passed through basic school and college before the pothole gets fixed. That's from Horace, otherwise known as Spider, who is trying to be true to his moniker, Moniker. As we continue with more on both sides of the story, Poro 106 FM. Still taking your calls on 876 922 4112 to 5. Text line 876 365 3346. Keep those messages coming in as we continue with more on both sides of the story, Poro 106 FM. And looking forward to receiving more of your messages and your calls here on both sides of the story, Poro 106 FM. So we look forward to more of your messages getting through to us here on Poro 106 FM. And here we have well, we read these messages already, so we're just going down the line now to make sure we didn't miss any. And somebody missed an opportunity to ask a question of Delia Walker Huntington. Oh, here's a message from Geneva. She says, Teacher, a blessed day. Blessed day to you too. And we'll come back to that as we go down the line and see who else is messaging us here on both sides of the story, Power 106 FM. Still taking your calls on 876 922 4112 to 5. And the text line is 876 365 3346. 876 365 3346. The messages continue to roll in. Thank you for keeping the link. So, Cuban in Georgia says, I think the PSOJ is right if they are thinking to sell the finished products from our bauxite materials. So, that's a follow up response to a previous message. Thank you for your messages, Cuban in Georgia. And we still have just a few more minutes. And so you have the opportunity of getting in a word or two more here on both sides of the story, Power 106 FM. And we look forward to what else is to come in terms of possibly one or two other messages and calls. But in the meantime, the lines are still open. 876 922 4112 to 5. 876 922 4112 to 5. And the text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876 365 3346. 876 365 3346. Keep those messages coming in here on both sides of the story, Power 106 FM. I think we have exhausted the messages, but if you were to send us one or two, we might just still have time to get in those messages. In the meantime, we'll keep the lines open for another. Well. Maybe another minute and some seconds. But can we thank you once again for the privilege of serving you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story, for today, Thursday, the 3rd of October, 2024. All things being well, Both Sides of the Story returns until then. This is Dervan Malcolm on behalf of Adrian Reed in the studios of Poro 106 FM, thanking you for making it both sides of the story, Poro 106 FM.
106 FM. The time is now
5 o'clock.
news, comprehensive, powerful, and credible. Power 106 FM now presents a simulcast of Radio Jamaica's news at 5.